Shut the door!
Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to tell you about this podcast. It's called The DK Project, but it's really The Darren Show. This has been in the project stage for as long as I can remember. I've been witness to this for countless years, and there's lots for you to hear. The DK Project is a radio show, but without the radio. Once a week, the show will consist of banter and tales from the journey of two lifelong friends as they navigate through these crazy times. So thanks for tuning in.
Welcome to the first episode of the DK Project. This has been a long time in the making. This is our first episode of the podcast. I'm Darren. I'll be your captain on this crazy journey. In today's episode, we discuss the holidays, vacation, and DK's Florida adventure. So thanks for tuning in. Sit back, buckle up, and enjoy the ride. Let's go! All right, we're live.
Live. I like it. I like live.
How long in the making? This is finally it. We're go for launch.
How long in the making has it been?
I don't know. How old am I? 40? 40 years. 40 years, baby.
Oh, that's generous. 40.
Oh, that's right. I'm 45. Well, at least I'm not 46. Anyway, I haven't talked to you.
That's a good year.
I haven't talked to you since Christmas.
Christmas Eve.
We've been storing it up.
Yeah. Well, no, you haven't spoken because you jetted away right after we hung out on Christmas Eve to Florida.
You only can handle so much family, dude. Then you got to get the hell out of Dodge.
How was it?
It was real good. Real good. I don't like the humidity. There's a lot of humidity in Florida, which, whatever. It was sunny. So here's the deal, though. You go to these beaches, and there's a new trend going on with these.
Banana hammock?
No, we saw a few of those, but nothing out of control. But
Not coming back.
The trend is these gals to wear next to nothing on their bottom, which is, it's offensive. Because
Keep talking.
Oh my God. Like, you got a lot of ass showing. Like, to the point where my kids are like, whoa, what is that? Like,
so
does nobody have a mirror in their house? Do you not have a mirror in the house? Like, you look at it, you're like, hey, this looks good. Like,
well, that's not far from the general trend of all female clothing. The tighter, the better, and the skimpier, the better for some reason. Well, the yoga pant revolution. but
there's two things in life that don't lie: God and yoga pants. That's legit.
So let me ask you this, though, and not to sound like a typical male, but is this trend down there for all women, or is it really being observed by women with bodies who can pull off wearing barely nothing?
Oh no, it's the opposite. It's all your 150 plussers. Like that's not fair to the swimsuit, dude. That's so far up your ass. There was this. We went to Ron John Surf Shop, right? So I go to Ron John Surf Shop, which, holy Christ, there's a whole nother segment that it's like a city block of Ron John. Surfboards, rugs, candles, shirts, whatever. It's an empire.
Candles.
Yeah. Well, they're in coconut, so it makes it saleable. But they, But so we go to Ron John and we're like, hey, let's go kick it on the beach for a little while. So we go walk the beach and then we come back around the backside. And there's this chick who, I don't know, not pleasant. Should never wear one piece. Questionable whether she even should be in a swimsuit, but she had this camouflage.
Maybe at the pool at her own home.
Oh, hell no. This isn't even like inside the house tub friendly. This is just like straight up no way. So we come around the corner and it's camo. So of course my daughter goes, I didn't even see the bikini, which, that's camo humor. I like that. But then I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, it had to take 3 people to get that swimsuit out of her butt crack because it was so deep. And her friends are like, yeah, they had to be total like rednecks because her friends, like nobody's thought to say, hey, Rebecca, that might be a little snug. Because it's like your swimsuit's redlining. Like there's only so much fiber can hold, and all of a sudden, shlam bam!
Right?
Come
There's
on,
a button on that thing. It's a liability.
Oh my God! If that string comes loose, game over. some poor bastard's taking one in the eye.
Yeah, it's asking a lot.
But yeah, they gotta get that under control because I don't know. I'm not ready for that.
Well, no one had time to mention it because they were on their way driving down from New Jersey.
Well, and the trucks are all jacked up, and you look at it and you're like, there's no snow here. There's no why are you driving that? There's a lot of that. There's a lot
Florida?
of that. Yeah, like jacked up trucks. Like, I don't know, the rednecks head south, evidently. I don't know.
Fuck.
Hey,
I don't even get it here in Minnesota. Like, why?
Well, people like to piss money away on fuel.
Yeah, I mean, here's a news flash. When it snows here, they generally plow pretty quick after.
Well, and aren't those trucks generally with the fat tires worse in the snow than standard tires?
Yeah, I'm sure. Well,
I don't know. Man, looks cool.
I've never driven one, so I can't say with any accuracy if that's true. However, most common thing ever is seeing someone who does have the big wide tires in the jacked up truck
in the ditch,
driving like a fucking idiot in the snow. So it doesn't matter if the vehicle does better. The driver doesn't.
Is there a chance you're related to one of these people?
No, absolutely.
I just saw a post from that. Did Grandma leave?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't get the group text that none of us got?
Right. I did not.
I don't think it actually happened.
So, like left back for the southern hemisphere?
Well, the western. She goes out west, doesn't she?
Yeah. Well, it's southwest.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Whatever.
Literally, that's what their cuisine is named.
Hey, geographically, she's out of our space. That's all we're saying.
Yeah. Well,
no, I saw a post from Boy Wonder and his daughter. They were in an area that didn't have snow.
Oh, no, you know what? That's interesting because I would have thought I would have known as much as I don't pay attention. Just the fact that my two children would be made aware that
you would
the chosen
think.
one is leaving. Yeah.
Hey, we snaked in and out of Florida without anybody knowing, so we'll talk about stealth later. Hey,
wow. Hey, but since we're on Florida, where I don't even know where you went.
Oh man, we went to Stewart, Florida, and
Stewart.
So I go down to Stewart, and speaking of which, I dug up an old comedy clip to share with my children.
Of Mitch Hedberg.
No, I don't even know the guy's name. But when I went to get my driver's license, I told him J only, B only, Stewart. So when my driver's license came, it said Jonely Bonely Stewart. It was funny as hell. My kids got a charge out of it. But yeah, I don't know why I thought of that. But yeah, we were in Stewart, and which is, I don't know, it's about 40 minutes north of where your fearless leader vacations in West Palm Beach. So really? Yeah, it was beautiful. Not easy to get to though. Not easy to get to at all. Yep.
Never heard. How'd you land on Stewart? Is that a dart at the wall on a map of Florida?
No, we ended up debating. Do you want to go East Coast, West Coast? So if you can see me right now, I'm throwing up gang signs. We East Coast or we West Coast, baby? And I thought the kids wanted to surf.
I was just tying my bandana. I didn't catch
it. Right, dirty. We decided we wanted to go East Coast because the kids generally like to surf. And we wanted to go farther south because I wanted it hot. And, long and short of it, this was affordable. So here's how it worked.
There's a Groupon.
Here's how it worked, though. I call down to this. We stayed at a Marriott. And I get a hold of this lady who, ironically, his name was Monica. Very helpful. And, had a very open conversation with her. Then when I got down there, I started texting with her. And, she told me where all the hot spots were, yada, yada, yada. But we had great food. It was great. It was a nice hotel. It wasn't great. I mean, anytime you get on the beach and you're not paying $400 plus a night, you're going to have some monsters.
Did her custom insight lend you the Ron John?
No, that's about as tourist as it gets.
I know. That's why I say that.
I dropped more. I think I paid more at Ron John's than I did on my mortgage last month. It's ridiculous. This place is like the kids are, it was Christmas all over again. I'm like, well, if you're going to get that, then we're going to return some shit. Although here's the deal. The daughter went on a swimsuit buying binge. And I'm like, whatever. She goes, well, they're kind of expensive. I said, well, whatever, whatever, throw them up there. and they're ringing them in, and I didn't even care about the price. But one of them said cheeky swimsuit. I'm like, are you becoming one of them? Like, we don't do that. What are you doing?
Oh boy.
Yeah. So that'll be a to be determined whether that ever comes out of the bag or not. But we had a great time. Did you see? I went.
My daughter is not nearly the age of yours is, so this has never crossed my mind. But you're in a really weird area right now because like your daughter bought a swimsuit that may or may not be a little too risque.
Exactly.
But that means you have to make that call by.
Yeah, right. Like, I'm going to have any say in it. I'm not going to get any say in it. The whole thing is weird, dude. She's got a dude that she, like, frequently hangs out with.
We call that a boyfriend.
Well, we call him the Italian. He's not actually Italian, but it's a good...
The eye tie?
Yeah, it's a good way to cover up his actual identity, although he knows who he is. And he actually went down south for... Christmas for the holiday. He has a family member that lives down there. So
in Florida?
No. Oh. We're talking about South America, baby. And yeah.
Okay.
So
right.
I'm not worried about the cheeky swimsuit. I'm worried about hey, Dad, I want to go with the Italian and we're going to spend some time wherever. And I'm like, whoa.
In Brazil, where people who look similar to your daughter get kidnapped.
They don't even wear bikinis in Brazil. We ain't going. No way. Unless I can chaperone, I'll chaperone. Then I'm down.
You know what the guys wear in Brazil? M16s. Because that's fucking real.
I don't know. I'm avoiding that like the plague. But this this Monica that I befriended while I was down there, we're rapping with her, and I'm like, hey, where's the good this? Where's the good that? You know. And first night we're there, was Christmas Day actually, Christmas night. So we run over to this local establishment called Alberto's, and we're ripping into some Italian, and there's nobody in there. So it's kind of
Alberto's Italian.
Well, and I didn't look. I was so focused on getting in there. I didn't see the sign was a little smashed out, and place maybe a little dirty. You know, it was a pizzeria with some Italian food. Killer chicken marsala. Everything was top shelf. Service, everything. But it was like, yeah, you don't clean the tablecloths here? What are we doing? But whatever.
Oh. So they're devoting most of their energy to the cuisine.
Of course. Actually, Alberto was there on Christmas. What does that tell you? So we end up eating
nothing I didn't know.
And we leave and we go to the next door to CVS, and I'm picking up some crap that I need. And I'm talking to a lady, and I go, "Hey, we just tore apart Alberto's," and she goes, "Oh Jesus." You ate there? And you're immediately like, oh man, I'm new in town. I just ate dog shit and I'm going to get sick. But everybody survived.
But you're at CVS, so she probably hooked you up with a real quality Imodium.
Yeah, I'm guessing she didn't get sick from Alberto. She got sick from something she mainlined earlier that day. It wasn't the chow. Might have been.
She's probably one of those locals taking a part of that new trend, and she still has her swimsuit shoved up her ass. She got sick.
She totally she's working at CVS on Christmas. Hello.
Yeah. Right.
Just waiting for NASA to call. I'll be here in case the shuttle needs a driver. Hey, so anyway, we do that, and then I don't know where I was going with that, but so this Monica, I keep talking to her, and her husband, she says, is a boat captain. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Whatever. Maybe he could squeeze us out on a boat, so I'm kind of waiting to plan my fishing trip, hoping I could snake a freebie. And I end up talking to her, and she goes, oh, we went out on whatever, and my kids were in town. It sounded great. She's a great lady. I never actually got to physically meet her, but she was a great lady. And so I'm like, so your husband captains a 62-foot Viking? I mean, that's a pretty serious boat. I said, did they charter that out or what? And she goes, no, it's all private. I said, oh, that's cool. She goes, they also have a 42 and a 20-something. I'm like, oh. She goes, but it's all private. He just drives the boat for the family. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's private for a family, not a corporation.
No. And I said, oh, wow, that's solid. She goes, yeah, have you ever heard of Walgreens? I'm like, yeah, I'm familiar. She goes, yeah, it's the Walgreens family. I'm like, outstanding. Talk about a good get. I mean,
that's a pretty nice job.
Evidently, the old man Walgreen died, and that's who this guy was tight with. But he's been working for him for 16 years, managing the boats,
captaining a big boat down in West Palm Beach area.
Yeah, but they live in this gated community where like even the crossbars that come down, they light up like green for go.
Who? Monica and her husband, or the Walgreens?
No, the Walgreens.
Well, no, I ask because of my various times in Florida. I'm always very surprised. Like, there's a lot of gated communities, but they're not what we would consider here gated community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of neighborhoods that just have like fences and gates to get in, but they're $500,000 homes. It's odd to me. But.
Well, I digress. I'm talking. So here's another thing, and I don't want to spend the whole day on my freaking vacation, but it was awesome.
Well,
and
what else you got?
I got some nugs.
Right.
I went to see Hang yesterday.
Oh, did you?
At her private Oasis. We'll get back to that.
Was that your first? Okay, all right.
We'll get back to
wrap
that.
up on the FLA.
So part of the reason why we went to Florida is because my third in command is thinking about going to college down there at what I assumed to be University of Tampa. But when I did my research for whether his application had been accepted or whatever, I called Southwest Florida University, and there's also Central Florida University, and being the dyslexic group we are, I'm like, hey, you're 18. So the boss goes.
Your travel help.
No. My significant other.
I was trying.
Yeah. Good cover. Good cover. I like where your head's at. So anyway, so I go, hey, dude, you're the one who's going to college. Take some responsibility. And once we discovered that the boss had scheduled the tour at the wrong place, that we quickly canceled that. The night before, we scheduled one for the University of Tampa, which he says is where he applied. And we got to be there at 11. Well, Tampa's on the other side. That's west side for those of you who are geographically challenged. And so I go, okay, cool. How long is it? I don't know, 2:15, 2:20, 2 hours to get there. I said, all right, cool. So we'll bolt at like 8. So I get up at my normal 6 and I'm screwing around doing whatever. And I go in there to wake the beast and finally get him up. And we're out of there by 8 because we had this package at the hotel where we got to eat the buffet for free every day. And it wasn't like continental. It was like, hey, I'll make you an omelet and whatever.
Hotel? I thought you were at VRBO.
No. We ended up going to a hotel because we wanted to have people around in the pool and the marina. And
you went there because you tried booking the VRBO 4 days before Christmas vacation.
Here, I don't think we need to be splitting hairs here, do we? They didn't like the Tuesday to Tuesday trip. They're Saturday to Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And this just kind of worked out. But you're right. I did wait till the last minute.
I know. It's funny as hell.
So anyway, we get up. We hop in the hoopty at 8. We got to be there. Or no. We hopped in the hoopty at 9. Had to be there by 11. Get in the car. Throw it in the GPS. Wheels up. Oh, it's 3 hours and 10 minutes.
3 hours. Yeah.
So I look at it and I'm like, well, I could probably make up a half hour, because drivers wanted. Well, I didn't know that one of the main roads that cuts across Florida is 2 lanes. So anyway, we finally get there. We're an hour and 10 minutes late, and we see the tour, and I'm like, let's just hop out. Well, when you have an 18-year-old, you can't do anything. I'm trying to teach these kids that it's not always about what you know or who you know. It's how you handle a situation. So I'm like, let's just hop out. I'll get us in the group. I'm not worried about it. Like I could totally schmooze us in there. No. So we go park in some faculty parking area. And we show up.
Oh, yeah, because the 18-year-old wants to like go to the front desk.
Yeah.
Get a name badge, register, explain why you're late.
Specified parking in the brochure, which we didn't bring. And so we park in the faculty park, and I'm like, if they want to tow it, I don't care. Tow it, I don't care. I'm not going to drive around looking for this alleged deal. Well, we get to campus, and there's all these huge dudes walking around. And I'm like, what the hell? And it's all the Iowa Hawkeyes. I'm like, dude, something's going on. Do they have a football team here? Is there a stadium? I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Did you do any homework?
You applied here.
It turns out that, and then we go into this the activity center area, and I'm like, I got to take a piss. So I go in there, and I'm like, nosing around, and he goes in, and then I go and I'm nosing around in the gym, and I'm like, dude, it's a sweet gym. He goes, a gym's a gym, isn't it? I'm like, oh, yeah, but it's a nice one. It's a nice gym. But as soon as we walk into this activity center, there's like 15 reporters with their cameras and their crap in front of this Hawkeye. Well, it turns out that the Outback Bowl at Raymond James Stadium was on New Year's, of course, and Iowa Hawkeyes were in it.
Of course.
So anyway, I finally figured that out. Long story short, we cut over to the admissions department, and I roll in, and I'm like, they had all these poster boards up that said, welcome Matthew Johnson from Michigan and David Smith from wherever. And I'm like, oh, you're not on here. And then I go, well, you signed up last night. They might have printed these yesterday.
So 2 months ago.
So we go into the admissions office, and I'm like, hey, we're here for the 11 o'clock tour. She goes, it's quarter after 12. I said, yeah, we're running late. She goes, well, what's the name of the student? I tell her, and she goes, I'm not finding you. And I'm like, no, we did. We signed up. Oh, she goes, oh, here, I see where you signed up, but did you apply? I said, oh, yeah, we applied. And Cole's standing there, and she goes, I'm not seeing your application. I'm like, oh, did we not apply?
You turn around and you go, you did apply, didn't you?
So anyway, this little pistol comes over, and she goes, let me dig into it. She goes, follow me back to my office. So we go back to her office, and
let me dig into it. We didn't apply.
Well, she goes, I have some other ways of searching. It turns out she's the head of admissions at the University of Tampa. And I'm like, all right, let's see where this goes. Now, granted, I'm in flip-flop shorts, a T-shirt that maybe had a day or two on it, and
so a Florida tux.
and my potential college student doesn't look much better. And we show up an hour and 10 minutes late, and we get in this lady's office, and we sit down, and she's digging around. She goes, well, I see where you started to apply, but you didn't hit send. And he just sinks in his chair. I'm like, oh, okay. So what you're saying is we got a couple things we got to do yet. And she's just going off. And this gal was a dream. Like she was playing me as fast as I was playing her. Like we were having a good time. We ended up in her office for like an hour. But she puts Cole on the spot. And she goes, hey, man, you need to straighten up. You need to get your act together. Because you didn't even submit an application. I'm like, you show up an hour late for the deal. Yeah, all this kind of stuff. So anyway, she goes, well, let's finish the application. So he's in his phone. She goes, get off that thing. Get over here. So she sets him down at her desk.
Puts him at her con?
Yeah. It starts having him type and get his, a deal together. Well, he's dyslexic.
I think a lot of pornos start this way.
Oh my God. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not even getting into that. I've got pictures, but anyway, so I'm giving her hell and whatever. I'm like, I need some coffee. And so she goes, so she's standing over him, waiting for him to finish the application. And he's dyslexic and very nervous. So he's like mistyping, and she's just railing on him. Not mean, but very stern. And she's only all of 5'5", just a little whippersnapper. And so I'm like, I need some coffee. So she goes, all right, follow me. We'll go down and get some coffee. So I go down there and I get some coffee. And we're in there talking to the people, and they're like, so what are you guys still doing here? Because this is holiday, and you're like, head of admissions. You shouldn't be here. And she goes, well, we got a special down in the other room trying to get his application in. And I go, you can't say special. And she goes, and the student athlete who's at the desk asking the question goes, well, you don't know if he's special at this or special at that. You can't assume we're meaning special like special ed. We're just meaning he's special. And I'm like, oh, I like that. Nice touch. So anyway, we get back down there, and anyway, long story short, he gets the application in, and we're shooting the crap with her. And she's like, listen, you got to get your act together, because girls don't want guys without jobs. Girls don't want guys that don't have a lot of money. She starts flashing her ring around and stuff. She goes, da-da-da-da-da, and she's going on. And I'm just like, what world did I just walk into? This is like a mom who's like, a college.
Well, she's taking a moment out of her day to basically.
We smoked an hour in there. Like we were in there for an hour.
Parent a complete stranger.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I got her info. I'm going to shoot her a memo. Make sure she tunes into the cast. because
give props to her. Good job,
she
lady.
deserves it. But we leave the campus and he goes, I'm not going here. I'm like, because we're sitting there and her name was Stacy. And I go, so it's probably going to be an acceptance letter before we leave, huh? And she goes, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't wait. I'm like, that's cool. All right, whatever. So anyway, again, it's just like the traveling for sports. We had a fun day, and the best part about the whole damn screw up was we're leaving and we're in the car and he's prepared to get his ass completely chewed, which I don't care. I drive for a living, so another day on the road wasn't going to hurt me. And
and you're in a new place, you're on vacation, you're relaxed.
Yeah, windows down, radio's up, and we get in the car. Well, I should let me back. Well, of course, that would have just made it even better if I went in there with a guinea tea or something, a little smoked in the armpits. Yeah. So we're standing on the front porch. She's like, "Well, maybe you can see this, or maybe you can see that," and she's guiding us around, whatever. And she looks over at Cole and she goes, your dad is really funny. and you could see the light bulb go on in his head because we're walking to the car and we're in the parking lot and he goes, why does everybody keep saying that? And I'm like, because you're the only one who doesn't understand that, life's not that difficult. You can have a lot of fun with situations. You don't have to get all bummed out and whatever. And then the light went on and then all of a sudden he's like, well, I could design some t-shirts and I could do this for your podcast and this and that. I'm just like, now you want to get on. Now you want to jump on the train. I see how it is. But
on the D train.
Yes. Well, of course. So it was a little bit of an enlightenment, which was really nice because we then had a great, drive back. And, I had the whole father-son bonding time with him and explained to him that, you need to relax. Life's not that difficult. But then he got into a little, hey, this person's been drinking a little. This person's been smoking a little. And it's like, what do you do? What do you do?
Here we go.
I'm not going to say you can't drink. I'm not going to say you can't smoke. Just don't drive. Just don't drive. But I just got off the phone with, he was all pissed because there was a big New Year's Eve party at one of his buddies' houses. And I just got off the phone with the dad of the kid who had the party. It was actually at the dad's house. And the dad was in Colorado because he's got a girlfriend in Colorado. And I'm like, you left him home alone? And he goes, here's what we're dealing with. He goes, and he gave the name, which I'll not do.
Yeah.
But he goes, everybody was gathering at my house, and I'm out of town, but I trust my kid, and I know his kid's great. I wouldn't worry about it. He goes, So this girl shows up with a bottle of champagne that her mom sent with her, which was sparkling apple juice, whatever. And they got to the point where it was going to be New Year's and they went to rip into this sparkling apple cider and saw that it was actually real champagne. And they didn't open it. They put it back in the fridge. He goes, it's in my fridge right now. I'm like, oh my God. I said, we're raising fucking nerds, man. It's killer.
That's great.
Oh yeah. That's totally what you want. I'm like, oh, I love that.
Because play that scenario and we're the kids at that age.
That's what I told him. I'm like, I would have drank the champagne, cleared out the liquor cabinet, probably burned some cigarette burns in the carpet.
Well, first of all, we'd have probably beat up the guy for just bringing champagne to a party.
Oh, who drinks that shit?
Yeah. Look, that's not going to last all night.
We could shake beers and make a mess.
God.
Yeah.
That's great, though. I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, every time I think of a child or an 18-year-old, 16 to 19.
Yeah.
Every time I think of somebody at that age, I think of me, like how it was for me. I don't project.
You can't because these kids
I guess.
These kids are different. Although on the other hand, there's kids out there that I know of from his grade that they don't want to hang out with them because they're drinking and smoking dope and doing all this crap, and they just don't want to hang out with them. Which whatever. So anyway, fast forward to stress level at an all-time high. So
on vacation?
On the way home. My re-entry process wasn't pleasant.
Okay.
So I'm on the way home. My back's killing me. And I had asked the hotel, I'm like, you guys got a masseuse, like somewhere, whatever. No. We have a lady that comes in. I'm like, all right. And I didn't do it. I'm like, I'll just call Hang. So I texted Hang, and I'm like, Hong, what the hell ever. And I'm like, hey, you need to get me in. She goes, okay, 3:00 Wednesday. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, or no, it was Tuesday. I got back in Tuesday, and I thought later that day I would just cruise and get one done, She goes, no, she texted me back. I got to work at Massage Envy, so we could do it tomorrow. I'm like, all right, I can make it a day. So this is my first trip over to the new digs.
Okay. Maiden voyage.
Well, I couldn't find the damn place at first. I'm like, I can't call her and ask. She can't even speak English.
Oh, God. Can you imagine that?
Oh, well, and then while I'm getting the massage, I'm like, hey, she goes, people can't find me. How do I tell them to find me? I'm like, I don't know. This location is weird. But, once
Did you say that?
Yeah. I'm like, it's great. I mean, you got the perfect size spot. I said it's soundproof in case it gets loud up in here. And
just what a masseuse wants to hear.
Oh my God. It's more expensive, but it might be the route I have to go.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Speaking of which, though, before I left, I went over to Massage Envy, and I was going to tell you this, but I didn't get a chance to talk to you. And I had the gout, and I had told her I got the gout. So she hammers on my foot. And there was a point where I actually had to, I thought she was biting my toe, like right around the knuckle. Like I had to look, I'm like, what the hell's going on down there? But it actually, it loosened up the gout. So anyway, well, I'm at her place, and, what a deal. That was like, man, that hot towel. Did you get the hot towel?
Yes. Yeah, that was a nice touch.
You know what it was, though? She turns the fan on, and I'm like, oh, no, do my feet stink? Where am I at here? Do I got a situation?
Because it's a small space, let's be honest.
I can lock that down with a little intestinal. Woo.
Oh, if you're bringing some low heat to that game, that's gonna bake her out.
I think she turns the fan on just to then blow the cold air over the hot towel.
Yes.
That hot towel cleanup is like, I mean, we could go a lot of different ways here, which we can't.
I know. Yeah.
Somebody might hear this.
Yeah. Exactly.
I was like,
I'm right with you.
Why don't they do this at the other place? Because that was serious. And then she, I think I went 90 minutes, but she charged me for 60. And
well, that's what I was going to say. Probably because we're good clientele or good clients at the other place, but I noticed because I didn't ask how much, I just booked it the first time I went there.
Yeah.
And then when I was changing, I saw she had the little card, the little price menu.
Right.
And she charged me less than that.
Yeah. Yeah. She said, I give you good price. I'm like, okay. I said, that's cool. She goes, I'll give you discount. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I had to straighten it out because I'm like, well, I'm probably going to throw a little advertising your way on the podcast. I'll throw your phone number out there, maybe link it on the website. And but I had to make sure I used her office phone because she goes, don't give out my personal number because I have two numbers for her. I'm like, why do you have two numbers? She goes, one's my office and one's my cell phone. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, make sure you clarify with me which one is which because I will be splattering it around.
What do you mean office? Like that space?
The parlor.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
but there was a phone number there. I must have her cell because she texts me.
Yeah, no, it forwards to her cell phone, and they both text.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, you bring up a good spot there. You know what I locked down yesterday? Studio line 612. Oh. What are you laughing at? You got to have
seriously.
Yeah, so people can give us feedback, suggestions. We're going to open up a segment at the end of the show. I'm telling you, I know you don't Facebook and you don't Instagram, but
fuck them.
It was so funny because I was talking to the boss yesterday and I'm like, or not yesterday, but the other day, I'm like, Chris actually had a good point, and I said his last name and about this thing. He posted something that said, hey, you know what? Why don't we take some time to appreciate the heroes and the people that really make a difference in the world and stop idolizing all these people who've done nothing, your celebrities, your pro athletes who really do nothing. They're just flashy when really, your firemen, your policemen, all these guys are
day in, day out living it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And she turns around, and we were actually in my bathroom, and she turns around, she goes, well, he's a celebrity, so what the hell does he care? And I'm like, no, he's my brother-in-law, and he is not a celebrity. And she goes, oh. And I go, oh, you're thinking of Bert Kreischer. That's different. I said, this is Chris. And I explained it to her. But so anyway, I opened it up to one of the people involved in the podcast here, potentially to do a local hero segment at the end, where once we wrap it up, we'll roll right into whatever. We'll give them a little segment on the website and all that crap. So I don't know. I've been kicking that idea around because I think it'd be a nice touch. But we also need to.
That is all kidding aside. That's a fantastic idea. I mean, you know where I come from on that. That's.
Well, I think it's a good idea because
that's a no-lose situation, right?
A lot of these people get overlooked. You know, these people get overlooked, and then they end up, gosh, this celebrity thing is out of control. It's just gross. It's just gross. Hey, we were at the airport. We were at the airport the other day and waiting for our plane, and this lady.
Hold on. I got to cut you off before we lose the celebrity thing. And I'm being dead serious here. I'm actually getting to a point in my life, probably age-wise, where every time I read an article that might be a headline when I'm scrolling through the news, and it has to do with a celebrity.
Yeah,
there are almost none of them that I've ever heard of. Like, they're a massive celebrity.
Oh yeah.
And I literally, if there were two people in front of me and one of them was that celebrity, I would not be able. It'd be a 50-50 guess.
Well, and this was part of my conversation I had with Cole on our car trip, because all these guys talk about are these YouTubers. This guy's a YouTuber and he makes millions of dollars. And I'm like, you realize I'm trying to put a podcast together and kind of have the same platform. You're just not going to see my fat face because that's not fair to anybody. But, it's just one of those things but these kids are doing it at a younger level. And a lot of it is like video gaming and this kind of shit where you're like,
oh yeah,
come on. Like, my little dude, he totally he videotapes himself playing video games and then he uploads it to YouTube. And it's like, I don't know.
You know what's funny about that though? About the YouTubers, because my son is very young in terms of all of that stuff, and he recognizes
his time's coming.
Well, but here's the thing, and you're gonna have to have this conversation with him at some point too. Have you ever been in that situation where you tried to explain to your son that just because he liked baseball doesn't mean he's going to be a pro and make a ton of money like that when they're young and they just think that's, I'm just going to be a baseball player.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And then you explain to them what the percentage of all the people who try to become not even collegiate level, but a pro. And it's like the lottery. It's like such a minuscule amount who make that kind of money that they're referencing, Yeah. That's really the same thing with YouTubers. There are a few that do make some massive coin, and the majority, I'm guessing, are in the $100 to $200 a month range. So it's another one of these things where these kids are going to have to get a reality check.
Wow, it's just a new platform. It's just a new way for these kids to. I think what it is they're all building bomb shelters that they don't want to actually interact with people. They don't want to go out of their house. They don't want to, do any of that. So we sit inside. Well, now you can watch me sit inside. Really?
Well, and let's be honest. That's the life that they've grown up in. I mean, take a look around. The whole social media, regardless of what platform you're on, it's all about not interacting personally. You look at Amazon and all these stores, you get anything shipped to your front door. So you don't have to see a person.
Fast too, real fast.
Yeah.
They're quick.
There's no doubt in my mind that the majority of young kids today are going to be socially awkward as hell when they get older.
Hell yeah, especially these homeschool kids. They don't ever go anywhere.
Yeah.
What about so I thought of this the other day because we went through this whole thing and I watched this huge long documentary. What?
I'm just thinking of the way that the conversation we were just having, and Netflix jumped into my mind. Netflix is just killing it, and I envisioned, if you know what Netflix is, right? And I envisioned the
wait a minute.
a
Netflix?
No. I didn't mean that you didn't know what it was.
We used to have to go to the store to get our porno.
Well, that's where I was getting at. I was like, somewhere there's like a Blockbuster Video ex-owner going, what the fuck?
Vicky Video, dude. Vicky Video.
you just had to come get the movie. You couldn't even come get it.
We had it, man. We had it. Now we don't. And now we got nothing.
People act like Netflix is like an invention.
Hey, I just
crazy.
Oh, I got to come back to that. You know what though? I just had this thing. I watched this really good documentary on Prince, and you always see these. If you ever watched
R.I.P. R.I.P.
I don't even know where to go with that. But you ever watch this Reels channel? They do all these documentaries about people. So number one thing that popped in my head was, how do the people doing the documentary know that everything Prince did was because of his loss of his father and his family and this kind of shit? How do they always know once they're dead what their whole life curtailed, what they were all like, oh, he did this because of this and he did this. How do you know? Nobody could ever talk to the man. He was a recluse, and he ended up dying in an elevator by himself because he was a goofy cat. But
absolutely,
all of a sudden, these documentaries know anything about him. Now, here's the second part of my question. Dun, 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 dun. Do you think if Prince came back to life and he had a choice, would he be Prince? Or would he be Roger who shovels shit for a living? You know what I mean? Like, did these celebrities, if they had the choice to come back, would they choose the same life they live? I mean, obviously the money and the fame and whatever, but you got to realize these people can't leave the house. They can't do anything
individually. That's a great kind of what if. Having been a fan my whole life of that guy, my vote would be he'd come back as Prince.
Well, and this isn't just about Prince. It's like Whitney Houston or Chris Farley or any of these people. I mean, obviously the fame is great and the notoriety is great, but there's so many demons, man. Why do all these people get hooked on the crud? It's just strange.
Yeah. I mean, probably because they went down that path. This is getting pretty serious. Well, they went down that path for a reason, right? They were hurting from something. They're looking for something. There's a void they're trying to fill. Is my guess.
Yeah. Well, and I think when you look at Prince, man, what a talent! Holy crap! There aren't a lot of people that can hold his jock. He's legit.
Completely.
That taught himself all those instruments. Fought from the bottom up, and he was a really weird dude.
But that's why I say I think he'd come back as Prince, because I've seen him, and I know you have too. I've seen him perform live. And the one thing that stood, I mean, obviously the sound was phenomenal, the showmanship phenomenal, right? Very James Brown-esque.
Get in the water.
With the moves and all that. But the one thing that stands out when you see him perform live is how absolutely elated the look is on his face when he's entertaining.
Yeah.
Like you don't get that on most, like I went and saw U2 or, Pink Floyd and all. They're fantastic, but their look on their face is no different than the look on their face at a fucking diner on Monday morning. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and I think that's
where he found his. I bet you he was one of those guys who was only comfortable on stage, singing his shit, playing his. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would completely agree. I think he, that was his thing. That or like. When you look at the Pink Floyd or the Rolling Stones at this point, it's not fun anymore. It's money. It's got to be about money, because
it's a business.
When you're that old, I mean, really, I mean, granted, it's a great, if I could do it, I totally would. But you got to, look at Joe Mauer, for instance. He disappeared. He's like, oh, I'm done. I got my money. I'm leaving. I don't want to deal with this, because he's not the kind of person. He's not an entertainer. He's a baseball player who found the luck. Where I think Prince, man, the talent was so, like, he had to have that avenue to let her buck. I've always said that.
Like unleashing that in the basement of his bedroom or his house wasn't quite doing it.
Yeah, well, and I think the thing I've always said since he died is, the part that I'm pissed about him dying is that my kids will never get to appreciate him in live, because he was young enough where they would have if he wouldn't have died. But
Exactly.
you and I went to that show, man. That guy was off the chain.
Incredible.
Just a crazy good musician. And he surrounded himself with good musicians. The problem is they surround themselves with people that don't say, hey, buddy, that fentanyl might kill you.
You beat me to the punch. That not only was he phenomenal, but every instrument on that stage, phenomenal.
Hardcore. Wasn't there an album where he played all the instruments and did everything?
Yeah. 1999. The one with is that the name of the album?
Oh, I don't know. You're the musicologist. See what I did there?
Nice. I
think that's the show we saw.
He wrote it, produced it, recorded it, engineered it, and performed all the instruments in all the songs.
And you know what that means? He got all the money. Good for him. God, what a talent. That was, and I was thinking about that over the holiday, like, because the boss watched this Whitney Houston program on the way down to Florida, and it's like, do these people really want this? Like, I mean, yeah, at first it's great. Oh, people recognize me, yada, yada, yada. But then you get to the point where you're like, leave me alone.
I know.
Speaking of celebritante, I was down there rubbing elbows with the boys. And
did you meet him?
Well, no.
What?
Full disclosure, I met Brandon, who when you listen to the live show, you'll hear Brandon plays quite a role. But about halfway through the show, and it was really not a packed house.
Really?
I had expected more. No, there was maybe 150 people there, maybe. So it was real intimate, but it was, I think Petey went to Walgreens a little early and stayed a little long, if you know what I mean.
Oh, did it really?
He was chasing chickens all afternoon, but he was just done. Like he was cooked, but,
God, that's kind of a weird deal.
You know what? Oh, hold on a minute. So anyway, I get into this thing, and about halfway through, I'm rapping with all these people, and then the show starts, and basically they just came out, and the two of them are sitting at this table, and they're, rapping about this, that, the other thing, talking about Sebastian Petey got Sebastian I want to call it a sword, but it's not a sword, it's a saber for opening champagne.
Okay.
And it was the funniest bit ever. He's like, yeah, I got the box. And, he goes, Lana almost cut her hand off because the box is broken and the shiv's hanging out. And Petey's like, it's a saber, dude. It's for opening up one. It was funny. But they're just two totally different people, two totally different planets. Petey and Lou hang out and smoke pot all day. And I sent you a picture of their tour bus. They're going around on this bus. And doing.
I fully expected you to be on the bus at some point.
Well,
pretty disappointed.
Back in my Haight-Ashbury days, I probably would have been, but it's hard when you have people that are. Anyway, I not only was I sober, but the other problem is I didn't. We got a phone call halfway through, or the boss got a text. The kid got stung by a jellyfish, so I had to sit and take care of that problem 2 hours away. So I'm like, so it got over, and I'm like, you know what, let's just go, because, I know Sebastian's going to be stuffy, and I know Petey will be cool, but, let's just bolt, because we had to handle the jellyfish situation. And she was cool with that. She had fun with it. She actually played along with it, but she doesn't know a lot of the references and a lot of
that's a tough thing to be entertained by when you don't, like, we've listened to every episode for 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't done that.
But the people that people brought gifts. Like, people brought gift bags and gifts. And I'm like, were we supposed to bring something? So then there's this huge guy in line with me. I don't know why his size matters, but he's a big dude. And he had these two bags. He goes, we brought stuff for him. I'm like, we were supposed to bring gifts? And then he looks at me funny, and we're talking, and I go, hey, can you write my name on those? Like, it's going to matter. But Lou is an older dude, or not older, but he's older than I thought he would have been. And then the kid was there.
Looks older. He looks. They've told him his age on one of the shows. He's their age.
But the Zach from the Zach Files, he was there.
Yeah,
and
he was.
Yeah, he was there taking pictures, and And I'm sure they're going to air it soon. But yeah, it was interesting. But the part that I really took away from it was that there are a lot of people that follow them pretty seriously. And, like this one guy, he was the guy at my table was there because they sat it like they do a comedy show where you just randomly sit with people.
Yeah.
And the
Well,
people
the
that
improv, wasn't it?
yeah. And the people that we were sitting with, they brother and sister, and she was real into it, and he was a graduate student, and he's like, yeah, she just turned me onto it like a year ago or whatever, and I'm trying to catch up on these episodes. So I start hammering off all these other ones that I listened to, and they're like, no, we just listened to this one. Like this is it. So I'm like, oh, but
that's me there, pal. I mean, I rarely listen to other podcasts.
Wow, you gotta reprioritize your time, dude. I mean, really. I think I'm running 6 right now that I legitimately listen to on a regular basis. Although I did just listen to the Christmas past episode. That was pretty good.
Hey, it's not a lack of trying. I just, I'll listen to Rogan's show occasionally. I am not a diehard every other day listener.
Nope. Rogan and Joey Diaz you can sift through.
Theo Von once in a while.
Oh yeah, he won again this year. He got the strap back.
Oh, did he? But here's my point though. That's how I am with all of those. It's like when I'm just the time is right, the mood is right. I'll find one and I'll listen to it. Pete and Sebastian, it is religiously downloaded Monday morning,
right?
And I listen to it. That's why I was pissed. I thought they were going to download or whatever, put the live one out, which they did not.
They haven't yet, have they?
No. So there wasn't it was a fucking best of on Monday, on New Year's Eve.
They probably forgot to record.
Which was the Lou was too stoned.
It was yeah. Well, it was interesting to hear how Sebastian's like, we got here and we're trying to do the sound check, and Petey's like, oh no, I got to run to Walgreens quick, and this, that, and the other thing, and then Sebastian actually posted to his Instagram that Petey's at Walgreens. We should be doing a sound check, and they're going through all this stuff about how he was opening up for Sebastian on the road, and Sebastian does all this. He's in a box, and they send the box out, and he pops out of the box. And,
very show.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm
Showman.
like, and I talked to some people at the show about it. I'm like, I think Petey's actually a quicker wit and a funnier guy, but Sebastian's more of a showman. I said, but do you think because Petey's always high and like he's not pushing his career at the same? Because I mean, really, they were similar positions.
Absolutely.
And now Sebastian's a superstar, and Petey's still playing the improv at or Acme in Minneapolis,
in Buffalo.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, absolutely. I would agree with you. We've talked about this off air. Clearly, he's a faster wit, more of a funny guy's guy.
Oh my God, he's quick.
Where Sebastian's strong point is clearly well thought out, thorough bits that are damn funny.
They did.
But he runs his like a business.
Yeah, right. Oh, for sure.
And Petey runs his like it's a way to get the next bag.
He did a thing where he was talking about hooking up with Lou, and like him and Lou hang out because Lou's like whatever. And I was just thinking, and then some people were asking, oh, is JJ Watt showing up and this kind of thing? And they opened it up for people to ask questions. And I was going to ask a question about, because I never heard the episode about what Sebastian got for Petey for Christmas. And,
the double bite.
Yeah, I just listened to it today. But
you did?
But I figured it out because throughout the course of the Sebastian making fun of the shiv, Petey goes, oh, it's not like it's a goddamn double bike or anything. I mean, what are we going to do with that? I'm like, oh, too much, man. Too much. It was a good time, though. Funny. It was a good show, but I'm guessing they probably thought they were going to have a little better turnout than they did. It wasn't great. Hey, but
middle of the day, middle of the week.
In a weird place, but boy, oh boy, is that convention center in Orlando. What a sweet spot. That is a neat building. Architecturally, it's a killer.
I went there for a business gig. It was like 12 years ago. I don't know if it's changed or if it's any different, but
hotter than hot, huh?
Yeah.
I'm
not a humidity guy.
Hell no. We had some humidity. It was in the 80s the whole time. But actually, like 15 years ago was the last time. Well, no, it was like 8 years ago was the last time I was in Florida. And we went to this restaurant called the Cafe Tutu Tango.
Yeah.
And it's like artists and musicians and dancers. And it's like art all over the walls. And there's actually artists in the restaurant drawing or painting while you're there. There was a tarot card reader. The last time I was there, they like had break dancers and they had belly dancers. But we were there during the week this time. And
does big truck, how do I say this? Do we know somebody that works there part-time?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. Oh, who's that?
When she's south?
Oh, no. No.
Sounds very gypsy-like.
No. Yeah, you'll find a gypsy there. And so we went there, and it's all small plate. It was actually still open. So we made a reservation and went over there, and man, oh man, all small plate stuff. We must have had 10 or 12 small plates between the five of us.
Oh, you're singing my song, dude.
It was
small
delicious.
Plates are the best.
Everything was great. And we ended it with a banana, caramel, cinnamon pizza with a big dollop of salted caramel gelato on it. Man.
You had me up until that. I'm not a dessert guy.
Although I started the diet. I'm back on the diet. It's over.
Are you?
Oh my God, am I fat? I'm
Dude,
back. I'm back up to my fighting weight.
I can't stop though. I'm in a
You're in the zone.
Pattern. I'm in a bad pattern right now because I know I need to lose some weight. Like, hey, you know what I noticed the other day?
Do tell.
I was brushing my teeth like I normally do, look in the mirror once in a while, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't see my eyelids.
Why not? Your face is too fat? Come on.
Just at your casual, not trying to change your facial,
Were you all hungover?
No. I was like getting ready for a fucking bed. So I want you to do this when you're looking in the mirror. Don't try and maneuver your face. Take a look. See how well you can see your full eyelid.
Oh, I wouldn't even try. My face is so fat right now. There's no way. There's no way.
It jolted me, man. I mean, it was like.
What do you think it's from?
That's the problem.
It's not from fat, is it? No way.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yes.
You weren't on a bender the night before and just had puffy face? There's no way.
I could have been. I don't know.
Flip a coin. Flip a coin.
Not a bender, but I may have indulged.
Man, I came close to drinking twice this week.
Really?
I had to talk myself off the ledge. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because one of them, the college kid is like, so you're never going to drink again? Like you're going to go through life without drinking? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Don't ask me questions. I came so close to twice drinking this week that I did.
That a boy.
Hey, hold on.
What?
We barely touched on. So what do you mean you're back on the diet? Because I'm serious. I need to. I need to take a hard look at something.
My good friend hit the double W, which is Weight Watchers, and she looks great. So I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna try that, and so I'm gonna give that a run.
So you're going with a program, you're not. I'm gonna watch carbs or
I can't do that. Nope.
Really,
I'm not responsible. Actually, this is quite a surprising thing. There's an app, and it tells you like you get like so many points per day. And then you get a little carryover because they know people aren't going to stick to those points. But there's a lot of 0-point foods. Like most of the stuff I've eaten today is 0 points. And
your broccolis, your cauliflower.
Yeah, I went over. I went over to the Kowalsk, and they had steamed vegetables in the deal.
I got a Kowalski story for you too when we're done.
So I got a little thing of steamed vegetables. It was like $4. It was good. But I did look on the app. And you can pretty much eat any kind of fish there is, and it won't count against you. Like fish is so they had some salmon.
You don't like fish?
Well, I'll eat whitefish, but they had some salmon there that I'm like, oh, let me try it. So I tried it. I'm like, let's have the vegetables. Not
like colored fish, huh?
I don't know that I'd say colored, but no, I don't. I don't actually. I was just somewhere and they said colored.
Florida.
Wow. Yeah, that's probably it. But so anyway, I got the steamed veggies and got the hell out of there because I'm like a bull in a china shop when I get to Kowalski's, man. I love that place. And they love me. I mean, let's be honest. When you're fat and you're always at Kowalski's, they're like, oh, it's like that.
And you got money?
It's like when the Greeks go to drink that oppa, like, hey, Darren's here. No, they did have one sample. I tried.
I don't have like a story, but I got a kind of an observation.
How good the pies are? I love the pies.
No. Normally when you go to a store, this has had nothing to do with their food.
Oh.
You're by yourself, right? You're running in to grab something or you're getting your lunch or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, over the last weekend, one of my siblings came down to do the Christmas. Yeah. She came down. It was great. She stayed with us for 2 nights and Friday to Sunday.
All right.
It was
There's
great,
a show.
Yeah, next week.
Oh my gosh!
So we did the whole it was a nice Saturday. We're going out and I'm showing her where grandma and she wanted to go see all that the grandpa's house and what it looks like now and how the city's developed and all that
condos,
all that stuff.
Condos.
Condo. So I'm doing the tour, that whole bit, and the kids didn't want to go and they stayed at home. So I'm like, hey, I want to swing by. Kowalski's here. I need to grab something for the kids so they can eat right when I get back. It's a little after lunch, and I don't want to make anything. Oh, okay. So it's the 3 of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We go into Kowalski's, and I'm going in there to get what I need to get for my children to have lunch. That was the reported goal beforehand.
Got to have goals.
And it's a weird I shit you not, man. Every 30 seconds, I would stop because I felt like there was nobody with me.
Uh-oh.
And there wasn't.
What were they doing?
I witnessed, it was as if she had never seen food in a store.
She's used to the mercantile?
It was the weirdest thing. You've seen bread, right? And you've seen a deli, right?
Where is she living now? Is she here in Minnesota?
No. Just south of Superior.
Oh, okay. They don't have grocery stores there?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was just. I don't know, man. It struck, and she wasn't doing anything wrong. It just struck me as odd. We're just trying to get something for
You should have left them in the car.
I thought we were all wrapped up because I had to go back to them 5 or 6 different times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, let's check out. We can get home. I'm thinking kids, okay?
Right.
And I check out. I turn around to see if she wants me to pay for whatever she was getting.
Yeah.
Since I was at the cash register.
And she was laying in the olive tray.
Not there. She's not there. Yes. Not there.
Was she eating out of the olive tray?
And no. She was getting olives from the olive bar.
Really?
And I'm like, yeah. So, but I didn't know this. I'm at the cashier. And
did you reconsider paying then? I'm not covering that.
Well, no. I didn't even know at this time. I just looked to my left to see if she was, I assumed she was there.
Right.
Nope. So I pay for my stuff. I get it bagged up and I stand to the side, let other people go through. And I kid you not, 3 or 4 minutes, which feels like an eternity when you're standing at a grocery store. She comes flying around the corner with one of those plastic containers full of olives and cheese.
Nice.
I can ship that up there if you want.
They don't have have legumes where she's from.
I don't.
That is
apparently not.
I didn't know she was coming to town.
Yeah, originally it was potentially going to be Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yeah,
and then it didn't work with it. Would have kind of taken away from her kids up there. So
she came down by herself.
She came down Friday. Yeah.
Is there a man ski in her world?
On and on, off and on.
Timely pause. Any word from the cowboy?
Well, you know what? She
You're
keeps more in contact.
You're so disconnected from these people. I even forget to ask about them.
Yeah, well, tell me about it. So she does. I don't at all. She does via Facebook, and if I used Facebook, maybe I would. But so apparently, he's doing great.
Really?
He's got a good. He's basically one of the. I don't want to throw out lead chef, but he's one of the cooks at the Hilton in a real nice setting. It's the Hilton on Main in Norfolk, Virginia, on the Chesapeake Bay.
Wow.
Yeah, really nice. I Googled it.
I keep thinking he's going to show up on one of these Top Chef or Hell's Kitchen episodes where I'm like, that's Mike.
Apparently he's making good money. He loves it, and I got to tell you, she let
he's
me
not
look at
reproducing, is he?
No. She let me look at her face reproducing Facebook, and I got to tell you, man, he's never looked better.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
honestly,
man, we got to get him on the show.
Yeah, no.
We might have to do a three-way call.
Yeah, Elvis has left the building.
Oh, he's no more Melvis?
No.
Mini Elvis. That was awesome. God, I'd love to get a look at his resume. Woo.
No more. Oh, no
Is he
more
married?
Dusters. I think his resume. No, not that I'm aware of.
Interesting.
His resume, head to head with brother-in-law resume.
It's like a scroll.
No, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Well, conveniently, the brother-in-law was able to get the time off to run the grandma out west.
Get the time off.
He's between opportunities, although he did record this on her phone, so maybe his. Although my little guy said that he tried texting her and it kicked back like no good. So I don't know. Strange.
Oh,
hey, did you see my pictures from Florida? We caught puffer fish.
No.
We caught puffer fish, and the guy's like, "Here, watch this," and he's slapping the puffer, and it goes, and it blows up. But you could hold them and everything. They're like normal. We caught all kinds of crap, man. It was good. Good time.
That sounds. If you even like fish and wildlife a little bit, that sounds pretty hedonistic.
You know what? Give me
that fish you just hooked and will not eat, so I could slap it around a little bit.
Hey, it swam away. It swam away.
Yeah, no, I know people who go to Florida every year and they fish every year, and apparently the puffer fish there is like our sunfish here.
Oh my God, they've taken over. Those jacks, man. The jacks are everywhere.
Oh yeah.
God, we caught all this shit right out front of Benihana's. There's a Benihana's right on the water. And for some reason, the kids talked me.
You didn't go, did you?
Oh my God, the kids talked me into going for New Year's Eve. I'd rather shit in my own mouth. I'm never going back. And on the way home, I'm bitching about it because it was like a healthy check because we got 4 eating off the adult menu, and the college kid goes, "Hey, next time let's just order the fried rice and the shrimp sauce. Go to a real steakhouse." I'm like, "Oh, that's a brilliant idea," because you end up smelling like God, it's gross. Just not good.
My better half always. I love it. I don't get it. I'm the cynic. I'm the guy who goes, I've seen it once. You don't have to go back ever.
And this lady sucked. The show sucked. But again,
it's not great food. Like, it's shrimp on a flat top.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the yum yum sauce. Which
they didn't even take the shit tube out of the shrimp. They didn't even take the shit tube out.
No.
Does nobody do that anymore? That's a lost art. Well,
I do.
Right. But when you go to a restaurant, very rare do they take the old intestine out.
I know. I'm like, you're throwing around those mad knife skills, throwing fucking eggs into your hat, and you can't take the poop chute out of the shrimp and bucket?
Yeah, she didn't even throw egg into her hat. No shrimp in her hat, nothing. Damn it. I get angry just thinking about it.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
I think he's right. You get the fry rye.
I'm not going back. If you go to 10 10 sushi up in the MG here. They got the shrimp sauce. They got the fried rice. I'd probably go in there tonight.
Oh, yeah.
They got a happy hour that starts at 7.
Did you know they have that sauce in a jar at Cub?
Well, I got to be honest with you. I retained the sauce as long as I could, but there was a Sprint and a seatbelt involved.
Oh, yeah.
And I almost had an accident. Not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah, that's what that sauce is going to do every time.
Nitrous. Hey, we got a nice little log here, so we got to wrap it up.
Yeah,
you got to go back
put
to
the
work.
wraps on it. I gotta
go back to work.
Over the office here.
Potentially episode 1 in the books. What's the date? 1/4/19.
1/4. There it is.
Finally, it happened. Now I just got to make sure I don't lose it, right?
Or that it was recorded.
I got to get the damn squeak out of my chair.
I hear that.
Sounds like I'm in a cheap hotel and I got neighbors. No good.
Sounds like you're in a cheap hotel with road to Wanda with the swimming suit crammed up her ass.
What are these people thinking? You know what? And I know we got to go. But the other side of this, and I'm working on my reverse camera skills. But what's with the goddamn Wookiees in the hot tub? If you get up at 6 in the morning and you're enjoying a cup of coffee and you look over at the hot tub and freaking Sasquatch gets out, that hot tub is ruined for the day. Like, I think, well,
period.
You got to hope that they're dropping like 700 pounds of chlorine in that thing at night. But
but it makes it unusable. Though.
I can't even do it. I didn't even go in. I'm like, I got that voice in my head. I'm like, just go. Just don't lick your fingers. Don't touch anything. Just go in and then you go back and shower. And I'm like, I can't even do it. I couldn't do it. No way.
You know where your sidekick stands on things like that.
Hey,
I haven't been in a public hot tub. Oh,
it took everything. I had to go in the pool. Hey, speaking of which, I was telling you how I almost went back to drinking. One of them was because the kid's like, "Hey, you're never going to drink," and the other one was the discount on the pitcher of beer. The pitcher of beer was like $8, and to buy regular beers, we didn't know how much. We figured they were regular beer prices. So the boss is like, "Well, I can't drink a whole pitcher by myself," and I'm like,
yes, you can.
Yeah, you can. But then I'm like, I'll have one and, whatever. Well, then it turns out that buying cans of beer was the same price as the pitcher in the end. So she talked me off the ledge, but I don't know, man.
So you almost went into a beer situation based off savings, not.
It's always about the money. It's always about the money. And there's really no reason why I don't drink, other than I choose not to. I mean, from a health perspective and I'm all clear
on that. Yep.
I'm all clear, but then I don't sleep at night and whatever. I don't want to go down that road, but someday I will.
Maybe.
I'll come back strong. All right, brother.
Hey, I have, but I'm gonna leave you with a small tease for next week.
Dun 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 dun.
Well, since we talked about your trip to Florida, I got the word this morning at my 10 o'clock meeting. It's the secret, amazing vacation spot that a lot of people don't know about.
Ooh, do tell.
And it's nothing but luxury at like less than half the cost of places where you get that same kind of.
It's the Costco of vacations.
Well, I don't know. I don't know Costco.
Let's get a little backstory. Who divulged this secret location to you?
A client.
Is this a very well-to-do client? I mean, do they have a basis to point you in this direction from? Do they or are they like Costco travelers?
No, well, you can answer that question. Hey, we were as a consultation for building a deck.
That's it?
Finish underneath.
Okay.
And very restricted to size because of hardcover, so it has to be within a 12 by 16 footprint.
Okay.
And I thought it was the budget is 70.
Jeez, that's okay.
So that's not a
that's a playa
Costco traveler.
That's a playa.
Yeah.
Get him some of that.
I believe it wasn't just a comment. Like he described, it's like they're going in a couple of weeks here. This is like their third time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. No, we're going to have to.
To the point where I left going, I'm going.
Hey, hey, Judy, get my travel agent on the phone. I got to check this out, eh? Instead, it was like, hey, Orbitz, can you find this for me? Hey,
thrifty traveler.
let me. I got to throw out the studio line, dude. I got a phone number.
Oh yeah, put the digits out.
The studio line is 612-504-6500, and the email address and all that stuff is coming. We're a work in progress, one step at a time, baby. But they can call that number if they want to make recommendations of awesome vacation locations that are reasonable, or whatever, show ideas. But the next round is going to be, we'll know a little bit more about our local hero we're going to touch on, and we will take it to the next level. Well, that about wraps up episode 1. That's it. That's the end. Read the shtick.
That's a wrap for today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends. If you'd like to reach out, you can use the studio line at 612-504-6500 or by email, thedkprojectpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, there's always social media at the DK Project Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.